Yo, it's ODB from OLP. I mentioned recently going to try some shorter segments, which is going to equate to some shorter episodes. And I'm going to try this, what I'm going to refer to as Mini Monday, and the scene updates on this awesome Monday at the time of this recording, September 29th, getting ready to roll into October. Want to give a huge shout out to our title sponsor every year in Biloxi, Scrapin with an IN. That's scrapinthecoast.com. You can find more information. This show is in the Mini Truck Hall of Fame, and it is a not to miss event every June in Biloxi. So this episode, I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can, but I'm also going to give a few updates. It's been about a week since I got back from Biloxi, and 3 months after Scraping the Coast every year, there's a show called The Freakin' Weekend. That's put on, of course, by Freaks of Nature, also known as short as just Freaks. Great people and just an awesome event. We've talked about it. You've heard Trip on, and I will tell you this. I did get a chance to confront Biggity Mike, the mayor. He showed up. I had no clue he was there. I heard some intel that he was going to be there. So we were able to kind of talk a little bit and try to kind of work some things out. I mean, I said, hey, dude, haven't heard from you. He claimed he had broke his phone or something like that in Mexico, trying to cut a deal for the fire festival. I don't know. I don't know how much to believe from this guy. But the bottom line is, you see the content that we post. It's a great event. And I think it's a really an up and coming show. What Trip and team have done for the past 3 years has really been awesome for that region. It's great to go out there and see so many clubs representing. You had people all the way from Texas, as far as what I can recall. You had lifted, lowered, hot rods, classics, a few old school BMX bikes as well. So we're looking forward to going back there, of course, next year. But if you can in 2026, look to add The Freakin' Weekend to your list. It was awesome, and they did a great job. Now, fast forward 1 week. This past weekend, literally, this is the Monday after I returned home from South Florida. Want to give a tip of the cap to Tom Bennett, my big homie, my brother down south. Of course, we've got the Lincoln connection. He's been in Negative Canberra a very long time. I've been in Severed, but friends, homies for a very long time, and can't understate the hospitality him and his family gave this past weekend. So it was awesome. Took my niece down there. It was her probably first show. She may have hit something local, but first time that we got a chance to peel out of town and do the dang thing. About a 4-hour drive with traffic on Friday, came back on Sunday morning. Not too bad of a drive at all, and just really had a blast. Friday was kind of low key, pulling into town a little bit later, and Saturday was filled with John Turner and crew at the Trucks and Cheeseburgers picnic. Of course, he's got his friends and family and homies, club mates, if you will, that always help him out, and that's fantastic. I think I've been to most of them. I did not go last year because I was at the freaking weekend in Biloxi, but John moved the event this year. A couple of years ago, he moved it from a Sunday to a Saturday, and that was key because a lot of people that are maybe wanted to kind of come into town like myself made it a little bit tougher because, Sunday, you got this long day and then you got to get home to get ready for the traditional work week on Monday. So with that being said, if you take a look at our feed, I didn't have the best network connection there. So I didn't get a chance to post a lot, hardly any real time at that event. But I'll continue to post a few things. You can follow Trucks and Cheeseburgers Picnic on Instagram, of course, on Facebook, the event page and whatnot. But my understanding is he's going to be doing it again in 2026. He's got a lot of people that help him out, even on the vendor or the sponsorship side, if you will. But, for a free event, free food, no admission, I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, even if you had to drive 3.5, 4 hours like myself, I know Ashley and Matt Diaz, they represented Severed, Florida. They came down, which was super cool, and see so many clubs, got a chance to slap hands with so many great people that I love talking to, including the big homie, Jason Weiss, and some of the OOC, Out of Control Minis, their kinfolk down there. Got a chance to meet some different guys with OBS trucks, saw Yeah Buddy Garage and Josh and what he's doing. He had my old C30 there. Haven't really talked a lot about the fact that I sold it, but he did end up with it. So there's a little bit of intel for you. But I've been hashtagging, I think, trucks and then the word and cheeseburgers. I haven't been putting picnic on the end of that, but trucks and cheeseburgers, if you tap on that, say, for instance, on Instagram, you'll see a good mix. I mean, there weren't even that many minis this year. It was mostly full sizes, OBS, couple cab overs, all of that kind of stuff. So it was pretty awesome. In addition, past weekend was Fair Enough, and that's ENUFF, Justin Wyatt and team up in Tennessee. They do the dang thing. And we had another Josh down here, ironically enough, that I got my Mazda from. He made the trek up from Florida to Fair Enough, and I reposted at least one of his posts. He's, I think, like DRK_SYD on Instagram, Dark Side. And he took some good coverage up there. And it was pretty cool to see Justin and them continue to do what they're doing. Many of the folks in that region were up there having a good time. So it's a great event from my understanding. I haven't been. I have many friends that have. And just with me kind of slimming down a little bit on the events I attend, I always tell people it's no disrespect to any show promoter. It's just like, hey, I've been doing this a long time, trying to do a lot of the online content, but balancing the family stuff, I just can't make it to every event, and that's straight up and down. Okay, that's a few things with the events. I want to turn my attention to the last few things, and then we'll wrap this video up, this podcast episode rather. The new Street Trucks is out, and I get mine typically a little bit before they're on newsstands and or available to subscribers, right? So I want to thank Chris Hamilton and team for the continued opportunity of this amazing magazine, been around 25 plus. There's the table of contents, also known as contents. And you see there's 2 mini trucks there. So that's key. And then you have the Fat Fabs dually. I've been texting my big homie, Grant Cox, great photographer. He shot this. We might actually talk a little bit about this cover on an upcoming short episode. But they recently, from what I can tell, put out they upped the ante with their quality of their pages. And the first thing I thought when I got this in the mail was, wow, this issue is awesome. It's just got the look and feel of what we all love about street trucks. Also want to give a huge shout out to Daytona Turkey Run is here, and Battle in Bama. You can see plastered across the top. Got a chance to see Craig Rowley at the freaking weekend, and that was cool seeing, his booth and all that stuff. The event coverage in here is massive. And of course, Battle in Bama is also OBS Nationals. So, you got plenty of OBS trucks. So that's pretty cool. So I wanted to tip my cap to Street Trucks. Now, here's what I'll tell you. I'm going to show you this really quick if you're watching or consuming on YouTube. By the way, it's free either way, so make sure you're consuming us somewhere. When you go to streettrucks.com, you're going to go to shop and then single issues, and you're going to see the issue right here. And you can purchase it $7.99, very fair price. You could become a subscriber, and you'll automatically get them in the mail. I also want to give a shout out because recently, Jenelise and Scott, they were recently on the cover as well. So with the mini trucks on the cover recently and a couple of minis in this issue, it's no doubt that they're doing the dang thing. Okay, speaking of magazines, I haven't gotten mine yet, but Mini Truckin Magazine or minitruckinmag.net will get you there as well. You can go out there and you can buy the new issue of Mini Truckin Magazine, August 2025. This is pretty cool. This awesome S10. They took this at the Spark Show. I think it's technically the pre-party, an amazing event. We got a chance to go there. I've been there a couple of times, and it's just always a great time. What a great indoor shoot there. Lots of coverage. And for those that don't know, Mini Truckin Magazine is back. minitruckinmag.net. Go get a subscription. Now, I also want to give a huge shout out to East Coast Styles Magazine, and that's Styles with a Z. Their website is ecsmagazine.com. I don't feel like I give them enough credit. They do some very, very cool things, and everything from OBS to classics, some West Coast, covers, if you will, but they also do a lot of like sport compact stuff, and it is a very well put to magazine. So shout out to ECS Magazine. And then lastly, from shout out perspective, I want to give Bill and team a huge shout out, and I don't give them enough credit. I mean, I talk about them on the episodes, but I'm going to do a video upcoming soon of local rides. I have some issues, and here are some more. And this is another great homegrown magazine that is very, very, very well done. You can even see here, Justin and team at Fair Enough, they help sponsor, and, they buy ads, and you've got that on the back. The photo quality and the page quality is awesome. These are very, very, very well put together magazines. And again, it's more homegrown. You can see here, Glenn and the team, the Custom Scene podcast, they've got an ad there. We partner with them as well. And I really enjoy what they do. And check this out, the back cover. Again, I'll do a more in depth, but there you go. And I don't know if Chris Anders has seen that, but there's our Mazda topless River Run art, boom, plastered on the back cover. And, we really appreciate what Bill and team does for the scene. And remember, there's not a lot of publications out there. So to be able to have an opportunity to have 5 or 6 or 7 trucks featured in an issue is huge, because many of us, we're all enthusiasts. We wouldn't have an opportunity to get featured. If mini trucking hadn't come back, and, street trucks is, maybe a couple of minis a month because they've got other trucks they're featuring. So at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, there's not a lot of opportunity. So for ECS, local rides, mini trucking, that trifecta right there. And then, oh, by the way, street trucks with what they run, including on the cover, it's a win-win. So good stuff there. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to Scraping the Coast every June in Biloxi. The last couple things I'll share is this. And again, this is kind of my push to do shorter episodes. And I really appreciate all the feedback that I've received. I mean, believe me, I'm going to be able to do so much because I have so much cool stuff going on lately. I've got some BMX freestyle news I'm going to be sharing soon, a very cool story, and a lot of good stuff. Now, speaking of BMX freestyle, this is one quick shout out to Thad at Icon Sign Company. He helped me out. Not only did he create this graphic, but he also took it to the Drop and Wear show, which was Rad Rides at the park. I think I'm saying that right. Bill Allen was there, thanks to Jeff Burgum, that came down from Wisconsin. I believe he set all that up. He's a huge Rad fan, just like myself. So it was cool that Bill was out there and Bill signed this. This is the Christian Hollings bike. So in the film, the character Christian Hollings, played by Lori Loughlin, that is the kind of quote unquote girls bike, that red and chrome. So I've always wanted that number plate. The number plate matches for the most part. And he did the graphic, and I can't thank him enough. He also got it signed. And then Scotty the Body, trafficking across state lines, brought it back from North Carolina. He brought it to Trucks and Cheeseburgers. So, tip of the cap to the big homie. The last couple things are, I meant to go back and pick up a banner, but there's a guy out there that sells, he does some pretty cool stuff. This is 90s radiation, and that is Michelle, her van, and of course Billy Bob built it, her main squeeze, and this was super cool. I saw Billy Bob share this, and I went to get a banner, and he gave me this sticker, and I was going to go back, and I just lost track of time, and I messed up. So that's super cool there. And the homie Brian, this is one more thing I wanted to add to the collection. Now, Brian owns this truck. Jeremy was the original owner and built it. This was originally built kind of as a tribute truck to Ballistic in the orange version, which is very kind of rare version of Ballistic. I always got it confused in the past, but I think the orange version was the very last version. Of course, Jeremy had later added graphics, and you can see there, pretty cool shirt. I had to pick one of these up, BBS Customs. He was there. He had a really cool trailer at the freaking weekend. When I say he was there, that's where he was at. So it was cool. I was able to add a few things to the collection, some things I need to kind of get up in here. But anything with Ballistic, or even Randy's 2 Ballistic tribute truck, or in this case, this Ballistic truck, it's super cool to have and be able to go out there and buy the things that you want to add to the collection, whether you want to wear it or display it. Unfortunately, Brian didn't have any banners. That's kind of the kick that I've been on lately, because I have so many shirts, but I just had to have it. So with that being said, again, thank you to Scraping the Coast. Thank you to all of our other sponsors and really key partners. We appreciate everything that you guys do. Stay on the rise. Episode 395 is in the books now, and we're chugging away to 400. So shorter content and some long form content continuing to come. Stay on the rise, everyone. ODB, we are here. Peace and respect.